Did you know that a journalist can be dishonest, unethical in what they cover in a story and what they ignore in a story, what they emphasize or fail to mention? I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. Sometimes it's hard to put a good face on things. I am bummed out. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm grieved. For those of you who are normal viewers of the program, quick housekeeping items. My hair is growing, my beard is growing. I have this thing on my hand. I broke my finger, slammed it in a door, and I'm growing my hair and my beard because we're doing a film project in a month or so that requires the part I play have long hair and a beard. So that's why I look the way I do. We have been working frantically on a documentary for Norma McCorvey, my friend. And for those of you who don't know, Norma McCorvey was the Jane Roe, the late Jane Roe. She died, left this life in February. She was the Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade. And she became a Christian. We became friends, spent a lot of time together. And I know that there's a documentary coming out about her from an Australian film crew that is probably not going to be good. I know for sure there's a book coming out about her, written by a journalist, Joshua Prager, that is not going to be good. If Joshua Prager, follows the path that he's already done in covering Norma McCorvey and covering Roe versus Wade. So I'm going to do kind of a two-track thing here. I'm bummed, and I want to talk to you about how journalists aren't honest, and then I'm going to ask you to help. I'm bummed because for the last 2 days, as we've been raising money for this Norma film, we got a good start, but for the last 2 days, not one dime has come in. Zero. And that means that no one has called on the phone number that I'm giving you. No one has gone to the website. No one has responded to the emails, thousands of emails that we've been sending out. Zero. And it really depresses me because people vote with their pocketbooks. And one of the things that it clearly means is that people just don't care about this project. And I don't understand that. I have a friend, a close friend, who's pretty wealthy, and he texted me about 10 days ago and said, Randall, I don't think there's any money in this. I don't think people care. It's anachronistic. It's out of time. And I said to him, well, I hope you're wrong. And as it turns out, he might be right, that people just don't care. Now, let me tell you why you should care, okay? Number one, when Joshua Prager's book comes out, it's going to be a hit piece. Norma McCorvey's conversion to Christ was one of the most significant public conversions in the last 100 years. It's tantamount to John Newton, the slave trader who converted to Christ, became an Episcopalian minister, and wrote the song Amazing Grace. Okay, that's how intense her conversion is to Christ. So if you don't think that that's important, or if people don't think that's important, then I don't know what is important when it comes to conversions. So that's one reason we should care. Another reason is because Joshua Prager is going to besmirch her conversion. He's going to minimize it, going to say it wasn't real, that she was in it for the money, that she was a phony. That'd be like somebody saying that the writer of Amazing Grace was a charlatan. It matters because child killing is the worst sin that's being committed in America. Murder of babies. And she had her name as the Jane Roe, the pseudonym, the Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade, and she repudiated it. So this is an important piece of Christian history, of American history, of judicial history. So then I go to why what journalists do or don't do matters, or how there's deceit. If a journalist goes to, let's say it was 1850 and a journalist went to a slave auction, if the journalist talked about how well-mannered the slave trader was, or talked about all the carousels that the women, or parasols that the women were carrying, and how lovely the dresses were, and how beautiful the weather was, and the flowers were blooming, and they mentioned the chattel property sale went well. That's all they say. That's a form of deceit, and it's a form of ethical corruption, because ethics, true, right, and wrong, the definitions of them come from God. And if that journalist doesn't cover the actual slave trade that's going on, but instead covers fashion and the manners of the slave trader and the weather and chattel property, a woman's right to choose, then that journalist is a criminal. That journalist is a criminal because they are involved in covering up a crime. If somebody covers up a crime, they are participators in the crime. They're accessories to murder, okay? Or accessories to the crime. So if a journalist, like Joshua Prager, says that she's a phony and doesn't discuss the brutal butchery of human beings, he's part of the crime against children. He can't be trusted. That's what journalists are doing today, people, on one thing after another. And on the exact point of Norma McCorvey's conversion and Roe versus Wade, this film is critical. There are millions of young people who have no idea what Roe versus Wade is about, no idea about Norma's life. And we are making a documentary that will stand the test of time. We'll show you some clips when I come back. But friend, we need to raise the money to finish this thing. I'm asking you for your help. Please go to the website that you see on your screen. Please make a phone call. Understand how critical. If you've been thinking, oh, I'll do this, but other people doing it. No, the last 2 days, no one's done it. God have mercy on us. I'll be right back. Have Muslim terrorists hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam? Or is there more to the story? The answer lies in the life of one man, Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Muslim terrorists see themselves inside a 1,400-year-old story, a narrative that focuses on specific events in the life of Muhammad. We are going to look at Muhammad's life using their most sacred literature. We will look at Muhammad at the Battle of Badr. We'll see him deal with those who mock him. We'll see the times when he used deception. We'll witness Muhammad's anti-Semitism. And yes, we will discuss Muhammad and his teachings concerning sex, slavery, and jihad. Friend, if you want to understand Islamic terrorism, get this series today. Welcome back, friend. I am appealing to my older audience. My friends in Canada, my friends in California, in Colorado, who I know are watching right now. I'm appealing to you to help me with this film. But let me back up. I was talking off the air with one of our staff who is young, he's in his 20s, and I was just saying, I can't even grasp what's going on. And he said, can I speak freely? Sure. He said, people my age don't care. It's not interesting. Okay, so she converted to Christ. A lot of people convert to Christ. Now I'm thinking, not people of this magnitude, not, her conversion is not a small thing. Every conversion makes the angels rejoice. Every conversion makes demons fume, okay? I'm granting that. I'm not saying that she as a human being was more important than any other human being. But as a testimony of God's grace, the Apostle Paul, for example, one born out of time, his conversion as a persecutor of the church sent shockwaves through the Sanhedrin, sent shockwaves through the known world of the power players of Israel at that time, and was significant and proved to be significant in the writing of the scriptures, etc. Now, I'm not comparing Norma McCorvey's conversion to that of Paul as far as intellect or of impact in writing the New Testament, but I'm comparing it to the level of animosity. Paul was a persecutor of the church. Jesus singled him out. Paul, Saul, why do you persecute me? It's hard for you to kick against the pricks. And his conversion was a big deal for the church, okay? Well, everyone will grant that. And Norma's conversion was a big deal and is still a big deal for the church. And so therefore, the history alone of this is of value. And the young people, God help us, not speaking to anyone who's present in the other room. This is not addressed at you because I know what your skill set is. But there are a lot of young people who have who don't have an attention span. They're so distracted by video games and by godless devices, speed. It's got to, the impact has to be on the sensory intake or the senses, eyes, ears, constant tactile, and they're becoming incapable of focusing on the mundane parts of history. It's got to be exciting. It's got to have a big drum beat. It's got boom, boom. So I don't know, that tailspin aside, I'm appealing to you if you are an older viewer with expendable income, if nothing else, give $100 for this film so that you can have the book. Show the one, not my family one, but the other one. Would you put that up on screen? So what you're seeing is an autographed copy of Norma's book. We've got about 175 of them left. When they're gone, they're gone. That's it. Okay? So come back to me if you would. So here's, all right, One by Love. It's her book. And then you open the book cover up, and there is the signature plate. It's an incredible foreword with Norma's signature and my signature. So some of you are old enough to understand that there are things that are collectibles, okay, that have value that will outlive the person who owns them. This is a collectible, all right? The Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade, the founder of Operation Rescue, me, signing the same book. That doesn't come around often in a lifetime. So I'm going to play a clip. This is another clip from the film, some of the history of what Norma went through regarding her mother, and her mother literally kidnapping Norma's baby. Norma then started working as a roller skating waitress at an outdoor hamburger joint. It was while working there that she met her future husband, Woody McCorvey. Just after Norma turned 16, they were married. She said that her marriage to Woody McCorvey was one of the worst decisions of her life. They moved to California. A few months later, when they found out she was pregnant, he beat her viciously, accusing her of being unfaithful, which she was not. Norma filed a complaint with the police and fled back to Texas, again moving in with her mother. She saw Woody McCorvey 2 more times, once at her mother's house while she was pregnant, and once more in the hospital after her baby girl was born. And she never laid eyes on him again. During her pregnancy, she started frequenting a lesbian bar for friendship and acceptance, and slowly became part of that social circle. When her baby girl was born, Norma hoped that she would become a good mother and raise her daughter with some level of normalcy. She never got the chance. Her mother, who was violently opposed to Norma's lifestyle, literally stole Norma's baby. She hid her from Norma and told the police that Norma was an unfit mother. Soon after, when Norma was back in her mother's house, tired and hungover, her mother tricked her into signing documents that legally granted custody of her daughter to her mother. We know that in court, such surrender would never have stood the test of law, but Norma was so beaten down as a 17-year-old girl and so ashamed and depressed of certain of her choices that she never fought her mother. She accepted the decision and moved out. So think of the impact that this had on her. Now, for point of clarity, this is not the Roe baby. Norma had 3 children. Her first baby when she was married to Woody McCorvey and then divorced. He was abusive. So that baby is the baby that Norma's mother stole. And I met that daughter. She's in her 40s now. So that's one child. Then there is the child of the 2 more babies that Norma put up for adoption. One of them is the Roe baby. Norma never killed her baby. Norma never killed a baby. I've got to take a break. I'm asking you to go to the website that's on your screen, make a $100 contribution, and get the book. If nothing else, and we'll send you a copy of the DVD of the movie when it's over. Call the number on the screen. We've got an operator standing by live right now. And please, just please help us with this video. I'll be right back. Friend, we have a series that will help you and those you love to have an impact on this country. It's called Insurrecta Nex. That's Latin for revolution against the killing of innocent people. This is the history, the philosophy, and the theology of social revolution in America. We look at the Stamp Act, the Boston Tea Party, the abolition of slavery, the abolition of child labor, women's voting rights, the civil rights movement. All of them have this in common: courage, sacrifice, dedication, and in-your-face tactics and rhetoric. That's one of the reasons that we've been losing the culture wars the last 40 years, is because the bad guys are using these tactics and we aren't. We will send you this 14-part TV series along with these manuals for students, a teacher's facilitator guide for only $40. Go to 304-289-3700, 304-289-3700. How did Norma McCorvey get to the place as a 21-year-old woman where she was homeless and she was trying to get an illegal abortion? She was trying to kill her baby illegally. It was the abuse that happened to her before. Here are 3 clips from the upcoming documentary, Finding Miss Norma, the real Norma McCorvey, that show the abuse that she went through. Norma's early life was chronicled by her in her first book, I Am Roe. I Am Roe is a heartbreaking record of a childhood marred by abuse, followed by years of self-destructive choices. She said of herself, I am a rough woman, born into pain and anger and raised mostly by myself. I went to reform school, not high school or college. I have a bad temper, and oftentimes I lose it. I am my own worst enemy. Norma was born Norma Leah Nelson to Olin and Mary Nelson in Simmsport, Louisiana. She had a brother 18 months older than her who had a learning disability. Her father's mother was a prostitute who ultimately owned and operated a house of ill repute, which Norma visited to see her grandma. Norma's mother was physically beautiful, but cruel and extremely loose in her morals. Norma wrote sadly about her mother constantly cheating on her father, and her father struggling with his TV repair business to provide for an unfaithful wife and a family that was disintegrating. It boggles the mind to consider how these experiences marred her young soul. When Norma was 10, her parents moved to Texas, where they separated and divorced when she was 13 years old. Her mother was verbally and physically abusive. She beat Norma ruthlessly for small childhood infractions. She locked her in a closet for hours. She verbally degraded her mercilessly, calling her vicious names. So Norma decided she needed to run away. She stole money from the till of a service station and with her 10-year-old friend ran away to Oklahoma. When they were apprehended by police and returned to Texas, a judge sentenced her to 1 year in a Catholic boarding school for girls. Norma testified that she was sexually molested by an adult female while she was there. She returned home for good at the age of 15, and the cycle of conflict with her mother started again. This time, her mother sent her to live with a distant male relative in Louisiana. In the 3 weeks that Norma was there, she tells of being raped by him every night until her mother came to visit and saw the horrific shape Norma was in. Norma told her mother everything. Her mother cussed out the man. The relative denied everything and called Norma and her mother whores. Sadly, her mother never pressed charges. She just took Norma home. Friend, I'm asking you to help us. We are going to release a between 90 and 100-minute documentary on Norma McCorvey's life. It is going to be powerful, and it's going to show her conversion. And there's going to be stuff in there that no one's ever heard before. Please go to the website that you see on your screen. Make the phone call right now. The last 2 days, tragically, we had no response. So clearly there's a lot of people who either think someone else will do it or they're just not interested. If you're interested and you see the value of this, please make the phone call now. I'll be right back. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, "I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life." Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, "What Would Mohammed Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced." Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. We have a special offer for those of you that can give a $50 gift to Voice of Resistance, the Randall Terry Pack. I will give you all 5 of my books that are still in print and my music CD that we cut in Nashville, and here's what else. I'll autograph all of them for you. And if you want me to say to Tom or to Sue so that you can give it as a gift to someone else or keep it in your library as a part of your collection, I'll personalize each one. Just say on the computer who you want it to go to, or tell the person who answers the phone, please have Randall personalize his autograph to these people. I'm going to give a phone number for those of you who don't want to use your computer. Call 304-289-3700. You can get Dragon Slayers, Accessory to Murder, Why Does a Nice Guy Like Me Keep Getting Thrown in Jail, and other books. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Remember those who are in prison as if you were in prison with them." Now, what does that mean? That echoes the words of Jesus in Matthew 25, where he said, "I was in prison and you visited me." Now, I've spent a lot of time in prison for my pro-life work. I've been locked up over a year. And I can tell you, when you get a visit, it's a big deal. Like, oh, you're just so glad. Even people that on the outside you might not be that friendly with, when they come to visit, like, "Hey, good to see you. You know, you cared enough to come. I was naked, you clothed me. I was hungry, you fed me. I was thirsty, you gave me a drink." There's something significant about caring for someone when they're in a time of distress. I had that type of a friendship with Norma. All right? We've been going through I recently went through 12,000 photographs. 12,000. Did not find one picture of me and Norma. Not one. Now, the reason is because the relationship I had with her was, we were buds, we were friends. And I wasn't, every time I turn, "Oh, can I get a picture with Norma?" I wasn't doing that to her. Other people were doing that. When she had somebody who she didn't want to be around her, she would call me and say, "Randy, please keep these people away from me. I don't trust them." And so that's what I would do. That was the role I had. She was hungry, I fed her. She was in a difficult time, I would do something with her. And she came and did stuff with me. I mean, she got arrested with us in Notre Dame. She got arrested with us in Washington, D.C. We were friends. Because of my friendship with her, I'm going to do this documentary. We're going to finish it. Come hell or high water, we're going to finish it. All right? Because I care about her. I cared about her in life. I care about her in death. I'm asking you, if you care, to help me. If you trust my judgment on this, please help me. Give a $50 gift, a $100 gift, $1,000 if you can. Give a $1,000 gift, and we'll put you on the script or on the credits as "in memory of." We'll put up a loved one. We'll put you as a producer. I need help. If you trust my judgment, if you believe in the leadership that I've shown over decades, I'm asking you, as a personal favor to me, as a personal favor to Norma, to help me. Go to the website that you see, call the number, and make a contribution to help us find, or to help us finish finding Miss Norma.